Moses was not present at creation, yet he wrote Genesis. How? Long before the deserts of Sinai echoed beneath the footsteps of Moses, before stone tablets, before plagues and parted seas, there existed another mystery, quieter, older, and far more unsettling. A mystery hidden not in the sands of Egypt, but in the very first lines of the Bible itself. In the beginning, the words arrive like a whisper drifting through eternity, calm and certain, describing the birth of light, oceans, stars, and humanity. Yet there is one haunting question that lingers behind every sentence, a question scholars, priests, and seekers have wrestled with for thousands of years. Moses was not there. He did not stand beside the darkness before creation. He did not witness the first sunrise over Eden. He never heard the voice that said, "Let there be light." And yet, tradition claims he wrote Genesis. So how could a man describe events that occurred before humanity itself existed? To understand the mystery, we must travel backward through time, into an age where memory was not written in books, but carried in breath, in firelit stories, in fragile human voices passed from father to son beneath endless ancient skies. Imagine the world of Moses, a harsh and wandering world where writing was rare, where sacred knowledge moved like rivers through generations. Some believed Moses received divine revelation directly from God atop the lonely heights of Mount Sinai, that the story of creation was shown to him like a vision beyond time itself. Others believed Genesis was assembled from far older records, fragments of forgotten histories preserved from civilizations swallowed by dust. Ancient Mesopotamian tablets, mysterious oral traditions, stories whispered long before Israel even existed, all carrying echoes strangely similar to Genesis. And slowly, another possibility emerges from the shadows. What if Genesis was never meant to be a simple eyewitness account at all? Because the deeper we look, the stranger the silence becomes. Hidden inside Genesis are clues, shifts in language, repeating patterns, ancient names for God that appear and disappear like ghostly fingerprints across the text. Some historians believe multiple unseen writers may have shaped the book across centuries, long after Moses had vanished into legend. Others insist the mystery points towards something far more sacred. That Genesis was never merely written, but revealed. And somewhere between history, faith, memory, and myth, the truth still waits in darkness, patient and undisturbed. If these ancient mysteries pull you gently into the past, subscribe to Immersive Tales, and together we will continue wandering through the forgotten corridors of history, because in the next part, we descend into the hidden origins of Genesis itself, where ancient flood myths, lost civilizations, and forbidden questions begin to blur the line between scripture and memory. Far beyond the borders of ancient Israel, beyond Jerusalem, beyond the deserts walked by Moses, there once stood mighty civilizations whose names now drift through history like half-remembered dreams. Along the fertile valleys of Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers glimmered beneath scorching suns, priests pressed strange symbols into wet clay thousands of years before the book of Genesis was ever written. These civilizations, the Sumerians, the Akkadians, the Babylonians, left behind stories so ancient that even Moses himself would have seemed modern beside them. And buried within those cracked tablets, hidden beneath ruined temples and collapsed cities, scholars discovered something astonishing. Stories of a great flood, stories of humanity formed from earth. Stories of a paradise lost. The echoes were impossible to ignore, as though Genesis was whispering through the ruins of civilizations long forgotten. One of the most haunting discoveries emerged from the dust-covered library of an Assyrian king, where archaeologists uncovered fragments of the Epic of Gilgamesh. The tale spoke of a catastrophic flood sent to destroy humanity, and of a lone man commanded to build a vessel to survive the coming waters. The similarities to Noah's Ark were chilling, yet the tablets were older than the biblical text by many centuries. Then came other discoveries. The Enuma Elish, ancient Babylonian creation stories describing the ordering of chaos into the heavens and earth. Slowly, carefully, historians began asking dangerous questions. Did Moses inherit older traditions already flowing through the ancient world? Were these stories preserved through generations until they eventually became part of Genesis? Or were all these civilizations remembering fragments of some forgotten truth buried deep in humanity's earliest memory? The deeper the search went, the more mysterious the origins of Genesis became. And yet, perhaps the greatest mystery is not that these stories resemble one another, but why humanity keeps telling them at all. Across deserts, mountains, and oceans, separated peoples carried strangely similar memories of creation, destruction, judgment, and survival. It is almost as though ancient mankind feared forgetting something essential. Something sacred hidden at the beginning of time itself. Maybe Moses was not inventing Genesis, maybe he was preserving echoes already ancient when he was born. Or perhaps, as believers have whispered for centuries, divine truth revealed itself repeatedly across civilizations, scattered like faint reflections of one eternal story. If these ancient echoes continue pulling you deeper into the shadows of history, subscribe to Immersive Tales, because in the next part, we climb the lonely heights of Mount Sinai itself, where Moses enters the darkness of the mountain, and some believe the secrets of creation were revealed directly by the voice of God. The mountain stood in silence, vast, black, and trembling beneath storms of fire. Mount Sinai was no ordinary place in the ancient imagination, it was a threshold between worlds, where earth touched the divine, where clouds concealed mysteries too terrifying for ordinary eyes. According to the ancient account, Moses climbed into that darkness alone while thunder rolled across the wilderness below. The people waited in fear at the foot of the mountain, forbidden even to touch its edges. Smoke rose like a furnace into the heavens, lightning flashed through the clouds, and somewhere within that terrifying silence, Moses remained for 40 days and 40 nights. No food, no water, only solitude, stone, and the unseen presence of God. And it is here, upon this lonely mountain wrapped in fire and shadow, that many believers say the impossible happened. Moses was shown the beginning itself. For centuries, rabbis, theologians, and mystics have imagined Sinai not merely as a place of laws and commandments, but as a moment where time itself opened. Some ancient traditions suggest Moses was granted divine vision, allowed to witness creation beyond human memory, as though the veil separating past, present, and eternity had briefly fallen away. Imagine the weight of such a moment, standing within clouds thick as midnight, hearing the voice believed to have spoken stars into existence. Perhaps Genesis did not come from ordinary human recollection at all, but from revelation, from sacred knowledge delivered directly from the source of creation itself. In many traditions, prophecy was never simply hearing words, it was seeing realities hidden from normal human sight. And so the opening lines of Genesis become something entirely different, not history remembered, but eternity revealed through the mind of a prophet. Standing inside the storm of Sinai. Yet even this explanation leaves shadows unanswered. Why does Genesis describe creation in poetic rhythms instead of precise detail? Why are there mysteries, repetitions, and symbols hidden within the text like fragments of something deeper? Some scholars believe the language itself was designed not as scientific explanation, but as sacred meditation, ancient truths wrapped in imagery the human soul could carry across generations. Others wonder whether Moses combined divine revelation with older oral traditions already known among his people. And somewhere between revelation and remembrance, the mystery continues to breathe quietly through the centuries. If these ancient questions stir your imagination like whispers carried across desert winds, subscribe to Immersive Tales, because in the next part, we uncover the hidden codes inside Genesis itself, strange repetitions, multiple voices, and clues that have led some historians to believe the book may contain far more than one unseen author.